Yeah. Let her go, boy.
Sorry, hold on. All right, here we go.
What you doing, boy?
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Florida's #1 hockey podcast, The Cats and Bolts. 3, 2, 1.
Benny's rocking out. Ben, who has injected himself in this series by attending games. We should actually get those photos ready, Ben, if you don't mind. You might be the good luck charm for the Florida Panthers.
Can you imagine?
Ben becomes the next mascot.
Hey, I'm down.
You feel like you're speechless. You had a good time at Game 4?
Oh, it was great. I was a blast. I had fun. The guys behind me. I was with, I guess that guy's a pretty known guy, right?
Panther muscle fan.
Oh, yeah.
Panther muscle fan.
Right in front of Rob Veglia, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. We found you together. We were
yes.
Like, is that... Oh, there's Rod. There he is.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
we're live on YouTube. Don't take yourself off the screen just yet. We're live on YouTube. Everybody get your comments and questions going. We're just getting live. I'm sharing it, everybody. We're just getting going. But you were with those little rats from Zach Smack's podcast?
Yes, I was.
So I saw a Panther muscle fan on the concourse. He's like, Jesus, I'm surrounded by your minions.
Really? That's
so I guess that's what they are.
Yeah.
But they took you.
Yeah, they took me. It was great. I had a great time. I had so much fun. We got some content. We ran into Scotty M from...
Really?
Yeah. We were taking a video and he pops right over. He's like, what's up, guys?
You realize there's hockey going on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Welcome inside Cats and Bolts. Ben Castro, the producer to the Stars, reads your comments as we go live. And there are some people that are happy that Sarina's back.
There's probably one.
Yeah, Kelly Francis.
Yeah. She's like, last week,
God.
she's like, I'm looking forward to the podcast. I'm like, unfortunately, like you can tell I'm clearly still battling something, but I've been fighting bronchitis since last Sunday. And at least, you know, I've done my antibiotics and I feel significantly better. But last week there is absolutely no way. Even if like a gun, and plus I also too, I didn't want to bring anything in here and whatever, but there's no way I could have done it.
Well, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, so we're deep into the Stanley Cup playoffs. It is Game 5 tonight. We are live right now. I know that people are going to be watching this in the days after, so we're not going to spend a ton of time previewing tonight's Game 5. But what I will do is tell you that we're brought to you by Beach House Pompano, Beresco, and Cool Bet Canada. Always the best odds are at Cool Bet. You're going to be hearing more about them as the playoffs roll along. But Sarina, let's do this. 2-2 is the series, Leafs and Panthers. What are your thoughts on how we got here?
I don't think any bit of it surprised me so far. It doesn't surprise me that Toronto won the first 2 games, and it doesn't surprise me that Florida won the last 2. Now, to be fair, I have not watched a lot of the series because I've been so sick that I've just been going to bed. I did watch games 2 and I think 3, the majority of them. I honestly, everything's been a blur. I don't really remember, but I felt like in game 2, I really felt that Florida was the better team. Toronto happened to get the win, but I felt like the Panthers were the better team. And I just had a sense that coming back to Florida, they were down 2 games. It wasn't going to be an issue. I just had a feeling that they were just going to come out. And what you said the other night was that Bob was standing on his head. And that's, you know, that is a huge thing for the Panthers. When they win, it's usually because Bob plays well.
Well, actually, you said that you got up from your slumber after 2 periods and checked the score. Do you remember what you said? And you were like, it was 2-0 Florida. And you're like,
that was that game because I was down and out and I woke up. I do that in the playoffs. I get up and I look at my phone like I wake up every 30 minutes or an hour and look at my phone. And it was 2-0 for Florida heading into the third. And I literally just shut my phone. There's no way the Panthers are going to blow a 2-0 lead to Toronto. If the roles were reversed, I would be like, well, it wouldn't surprise me if Florida came back and won.
Well,
but I just knew Toronto or Florida was, if they were up 2-0, they weren't going to blow it.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I should airdrop Ben the photos of Biz Nasty giving Big C's the one of these, and that was legit. I know you're not a Bissonnette fan, but I think he's really funny.
He's grown on me a lot lately.
And there's a reason why. Tell the folks why.
Several reasons. There's a lot of reasons why Biz Nasty's grown on me. Number one, that thing that happened in Arizona that was in the bar and whatever. I mean, that guy is a quality human being for standing up like that. And then there's just been other things. You know, I really admire the fact that he goes on national television with his Leafs tie on and makes absolutely zero excuses. And it's about time they start letting these guys do that. Because let's be honest, these are their teams. You know, you're not going to get a Lundqvist that's going to talk about favoring the Rangers or whatever. But if he did, good for him. He should. You know, these guys, why do they have to be impartial? Who made the rule in the media that guys like that have to be impartial?
I don't know, but I've hated it forever.
It's terrible. It's like, I understand one thing if, you know, if you are paid by whatever, if you're paid by the team specifically, that's one thing. But this is national television and they're paid by the corporation. But you know what? We're your Leafs. You guys see me on here all the time. I make no bones about the fact that I'm an Oilers fan. If anybody told me I couldn't do that, see ya. And I just admire the fact that he grew up there. You know, he played for multiple teams, but he's a Leafs fan. You realistically, that shows me what kind of character he is, that he went back to cheering for the team that he was cheering for when he grew up.
I apologize because I've been sending these photos to both of your devices, Ben. Your MacBook and your phone. Are you going to be able to pull those in or not?
Yeah, I think I got them.
So
how
this
many
is,
did you send me? 2?
Yeah, I sent you 2. Yeah,
Okay,
this is Caesar, like the feud between Big C's, Cesar Lucero, my good friend, and Biz, and is like the greatest thing in these Stanley Cup playoffs, any series. So I ran into C's. You want to throw that photo?
I got it behind you.
Oh, is that up here?
Oh, there we go.
So with the first photo, can you go back to the first one, please?
Oh,
this is me and C's.
Oh.
No, that's you and Panther Muscle fan. Okay, it's all good. I didn't prep you for this. This is all
okay.
good.
No.
C's, I just happened to be rolling by and I saw him. I stopped and I said, hey, let's send a photo to Biz. Within a minute, this came back from Bissonnette. Text this photo.
So good.
Legit. And you have to understand, look, you can tell by the look on his face, he's not really mad.
No, you can tell.
But it's like WWE shit. And it's so good. So they've been sending videos back and forth to each other. And the Panthers' alternate governor and part owner, Doug Sefue, is now suspended from this series. Like, that's a gong show. I'm sure some people can I get this out of the way and say, even Leaf fans are saying Sefue was baited into this by the Leaf fan, but you can't.
Give me a break.
It's a true story.
You cannot bait a grown man to tweet something that completely inappropriate. Baited? He's not 5 years old. You bait a 5-year-old with a cookie. He's a grown-ass man. Like, I've seen both sides, Leafs and Panthers, and Panthers fans are horrified by this. I mean, who wouldn't be horrified by the fact that somebody would do something so stupid? You're an idiot if you tweet something like that. I mean, PK Subban has said some stupid shit, but I have never seen that guy tweet something like that. It's one thing when it comes out of your mouth, because you and I have both had instances where things have just come out of our mouths and we're like, whoops.
And it's cost us.
He's had to literally grab the phone and type ding, 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 send. Guy, come on.
Yeah, well, he's suspended indefinitely by the NHL for that. And I have this rule. Don't tweet during games, specifically when your team's playing. And there's only one team that I care enough to swear, and it's the Regina Pats. And I did swear when they were in the league final and lost a couple of years ago. So don't tweet during games. Ben, we got a couple comments. You want to read them before we roll?
Yeah,
right from the top.
I saw them right from the top. So we got, what's up, Sarina and Rod from what does it say? T
the
from
203.
the 203. We got 55 Chikrin. Yay.
Chem, 55 Chem. That's
Chem.
Kelly Francis.
Yeah, she says, welcome back, Sarina.
Thank you, Kelly.
Let's get Dubio Do 1. Met during Game 5, the final.
Met Biz during Game 5.
Yeah, he met Biz during. Gotcha.
Ben's got to bring his bifocals next time. He's like 8 feet from the screen, and we're like, Ben, can you read these?
I actually really appreciate you noticing that, because I'm like over here. I'm like, these are really small comments.
This is fun.
We can do it. We can take care of it.
Drooby Doo says met Biz and he's super nice and fun guy. He's a nice guy. And you didn't like the way that he just conducted himself before. He's a good Canadian lad from Welland, Ontario. Fun fact, same hometown as Brian Daboll, the coach of the New York Giants. But I think the NHL got to him, to be honest, and told him, settle down.
Yeah, I think what you can see on TNT and all those networks that are not sports networks that are hosting these things, I think they realize they need to separate the basketball and the hockey antics, because the people that watch basketball, they love seeing Shaq and Charles Barkley doing all the stupid stuff that they do on the set. And it's funny, but it's not entertaining to me. I would never be able to sit and watch that as a hockey fan. And so I think that's kind of where, like, that's why I can't watch Subban, because to be fair to Subban, I think he's the same kind of a person. He's a good person. I just can't listen to that nonsense. You don't see that in Canada. You would never last 1 second on Hockey Night in Canada if you acted like that. Like, Bieksa gets a little colorful sometimes, but he never acts like that. And so I think you're right. I think that the league was like, you're sitting next to the great one, dial it down a little bit. You look like an idiot.
I think that's part of it, but also the antics during the Stanley Cup final, getting like blackout at the elbow room the day of the game. Like, chill out. You're representing the NHL here. That's all. But anyway, enough about that. A couple of hits in this series I want to ask you about before we move on to whatever everybody else wants to talk about. But Sam Bennett on Stolarz in game 1. He hasn't played since. I think he's playing tonight. And then Max Domi on Alexander Barkov at the end of game 4. Kind of bookend cheap shots.
I can straight up be impartial on these. I'm fair as fair can be. I don't care, whatever. But the Sam Bennett thing, you guys got to let this go. You got to let it go. It was not a dirty play. I don't know where it ever came about that this was a thing. Yes, he went over to the bench and vomited, which was obviously, okay, wait, he's concussed. Something's going on here. But there was other things where he got hit with the puck and whatever. Sam Bennett is a lot of things, but there's no way he intentionally did that. He would have elbowed. Speaking of elbows, Kulikov laid an elbow on somebody the other night. I don't even think he got a pad.
Marner?
Don't remember. Marner. That was a dirty, dirty, dirty elbow. So as far as I'm concerned, that's an elbow. The Sam Bennett thing was not. And people, like, I'm kind of glad it went away, because I was sick of it. As soon as I saw the replay, I'm like, here we go. It's because it's Sam Bennett. Also on the flip side, it's because it's Barkov that got hit by Domi. Everybody makes such a big deal out of all this. It's like, sure, there's a lot of dirty hits in the playoffs. There are. But Panthers fans, I'm sorry, you don't have a leg to stand on if you're complaining about your captain getting blindsided. It's been hideous for years. The reffing's been bad, everything. And it's just, I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, the Kulikov thing was just as dirty.
Yeah, well, I'm always going to defend the goalies. I like Sam Bennett a lot. Go into the crease and elbow Stolarz, whether it's in the shoulder or the head. To be honest, Bennett's head should have been taken off for that. I'm sorry. Has somebody come in and did that to Bob?
Okay,
he wouldn't get out of the rink alive.
Though. Everybody jumped down Toronto's throats. You got to remember, I don't think anybody saw it happen at the time it happened.
Maybe.
So, like, when it was so minor in the movement that I don't think any of the Leafs actually saw it happen. So why would they go out? Like, that's why everybody's
like, could do it
like,
a couple shifts later.
But I don't think anybody really realized what actually happened. And it's like, it's 2 shifts later. The Leafs are trying to win the friggin' game. You know,
yeah,
it was
for
in
sure.
the second period. It's like, you know, so, but I don't think he intentionally did it. And to me, that's the difference. And it goes back to the first series. The hit on Barkov from Hagel. Barkov was about to play the puck, and Hagel hit him. It was a penalty, it was a suspension, whatever. Matthew Tkachuk hit Gensel, who was 30 feet from the puck. He specifically lined him up, stopped dead in his track. How is that not dirtier than hitting a guy that's within 3 inches of the puck? So Bennett going and bumping a goaltender, to me, that's completely different. I brought up the Tkachuk thing because that's dirty. That was intent. Bennett, there was no intent.
And yet, the NHL clearly doesn't agree with you, because Tkachuk got away scot-free. Like, right. I agree with you for once. The Tkachuk hit was terrible.
It was awful.
And he got away with...
It was awful.
He got nothing for it. And the other thing with Bennett, but I really like Sam Bennett. I really believe he's a good guy. I don't think he meant to injure Stolarz, but he did mean to elbow him in the head. And that's what I have a problem with. And when you say the Leafs want to win the game, they do. You don't need to immediately go down the ice and take Bob's head off, but you got games 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7 to do it. Yeah. That's but again, I get a little triggered when it comes to goalies.
It's not the way the Leafs play, though. That's the
No, they're not tough.
That's the way the Panthers play.
Well, maybe they should.
They should. 100%.
Writes in and has some comments on Doug Sefue, which I appreciate, but I'm not going to repeat. But he says the Stoli hit was overblown for sure. Media never mentioned the cross-check to Bob's head from McMahon. No, they pick and choose what they want to talk about. Give me a break. And I appreciate all the Panthers fans showing up today to talk about this series and Game 5 tonight. I know you're not big on predictions. I've got the Panthers to win tonight and close it out here on Friday. But that's just me. What do you think's going to happen?
Oh, I don't know if they'll beat them 2 in a row. I don't know if they can beat Toronto 4 games in a row. And the only reason I say that is because the Leafs haven't been terrible. Realistically, Edmonton should have beat Vegas 4 games in a row because Vegas has not been good. But the Leafs have not been that bad. So I think that it would be a really tall order. They're back in Toronto tonight, which that barn is going to be rocking.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And I think it's just, I honestly don't know, but I just don't think that the Panthers are going to beat them in 6. It's just that's 4 games in a row against the Leafs are strong. I don't care what people say. They have a great hockey team.
By the way, for anybody that's looking for a watch party tonight, wherever you're going, enjoy it. I'll be at Bonefish Max in Wellington with our usual crew up there. Come on out and say hi. But it's funny, I was listening to Chris Pronger this morning on NHL radio. He's the latest, greatest thing. Have you noticed?
Oh, God almighty.
Right.
They were asking him about the Oilers. Excuse me, you've been annexed from the Oilers. You don't get to, anyway.
Exiled is the term.
Yeah, well, get out.
He goes, because Austin Matthews, they're about ready to exile him from Toronto because if the stats are correct, if I'm right, he hasn't scored a second-round goal in his life. And that includes this year.
Okay, this is my favorite subject because everybody goes, you just say that because they're American. He's lazy. He is your captain. The biggest mistake that the Toronto Maple Leafs made at the start of this year was taking that captaincy off John Tavares and giving it to Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews scored 69 goals. Why the decision was made, I don't know. But why do you put an American captain on a Canadian Original 6 team? It's never worked. Even Matt Sundin is their captain. They didn't win shit. You can't do it because look what happened. I said it probably on this podcast at the start of the year. Why would you do that? I don't care. John Tavares lived and breathed the Toronto Maple Leafs his whole entire life. And you take that C off and you give it to Matthews. Austin Matthews has scored 1 playoff goal in 20 games. Do you know how many Evander Kane has? 4. Evander Kane, he's not even a goal scorer.
No, he runs goalies too.
This is a problem, though. If you're the Toronto Maple Leafs and your captain, who scored 69 goals last year, didn't do shit in the playoffs last year, ding, ding. How do we not realize this? He's not doing anything in the playoffs this year. At what point do you sit these guys and bench them? If you're not producing, you don't play.
Mike Babcock tried that and got fired for it. I don't know that there's a correlation.
Mike Babcock got fired for a lot more things than benching a player. He's got a lot of issues. I'm talking
about in Toronto specifically, he got fired for benching those guys in the third period in Game 7 against Boston, which they lost. And his bosses were like, why would you bench our best players? Just saying. And 2, I'm not sure Austin Matthews getting the C translates to why he's not shown up in round 2. This year, he never shows up in round 2.
I know, but the whole season.
Okay, fair. That's why we're having this debate.
It's like you get a guy in the last year of their contract, they're going to play better than they do all of the other years. It's just the way it goes. And all of a sudden they give him the C thinking that this is going to be the right thing. I'm telling you, the best players on the Leafs have been Nylander, Tavares, and Marner. Period.
Ben, we need you. The last 4 comments you can read if you don't mind.
All right, so we got, Zach Smacks. What's up, Zach? Big fan 2019. Hi, Rod.
That's John from Edmonton.
Drooby-Doo won because he's bigger. Because he's a bigger name than Tavares.
Not in Toronto, he's not.
And the last one from Big Fan, if you want to read that.
I agree with you. Sarina, you're damn right.
Stop kissing her ass.
No, I don't know who that is. Who is that?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
It's John in Edmonton who writes into my show every single day and goes, what's Sarina think about this? What's Sarina think about that? And I'm like, ask her for Christ's sakes.
He is He's trying, and you
I
give him
know.
shit.
I'm tired of answering. It's usually
Ask away.
about the Oilers. It's never about anything else. But who's this? I don't know. I don't know. Why can't people have normal names on YouTube?
I agree. And
Anyways, the last guy says Babs also got fired from Toronto because the younger guys complained about his old school abrasive approach to coaching, which is what you were saying.
Yeah.
But I'm a Babcock fan, so when you're on my side, you're always on my side. I don't switch sides. But anyways,
really, says the
like
guy
you do.
who's had 17 favorite National Hockey
oh my
League
God,
teams.
bring that up again. Like
You just said I don't switch sides. I'm
talking to Mike Babcock. I'm on his side. Teams come and go. And you know my reasons for this. I don't know why you continue to bring it up all the time.
So let me get this straight. So you've heard all the things about Mike Babcock, and I'm not here to shit talk
been good
Mike
to me.
Babcock. Correct. But does that make him a saint? Does that justify why? We all know he was justifiably terminated in the NHL.
Yeah.
He was. Right. Agreed. So I don't care what Mike Babcock does with his life right now, but I also see where the players are coming from. Because if it was, listen, we've seen these guys, we've seen guys go through junior with a lot of coaches who should be in jail, like we've said before. If it's that bad, that it got that bad in the NHL, it wasn't just one guy that complained and he got fired. I mean, this isn't Me Too. This is like guys complaining. So I don't care what he does, but Mike Babcock.
Listen, every time I say something nice about Babcock, my phone blows up from his former players losing their minds. I'm like, he's done nothing to me. Back off. That's all that I'm saying. You know.
Okay, next. Because he's not in the league anymore.
He's done nothing to me. What is your issue with this?
I don't. I'm just saying, why are we talking about Mike Babcock? He's not even in the league anymore.
Because we were talking about the Leafs and the benchings. You can't remember?
Yes.
So the next point is Brad Marchand. Bill, who runs the Florida Panthers Fan Den podcast, who watches this show regularly, and I appreciate it, and he's had me on his show multiple times. He tweeted the other day that Brad Marchand was born to be a Panther after he scored the overtime goal Friday night. He turned 37 on the weekend.
Serious? What a joke. He was born to be a Panther? I don't even think Brad Marchand feels that way. Sorry.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm guessing he means like he's a rat, he's a dirty player, he's a whatever. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't think anybody was really born to be a Panther, but...
Well, having said that, he's been a hell of a pickup.
Well, we knew that. Hey, if somebody would have told me Brad Marchand was going to come here, I'd have fell off my chair. I fell off my chair when I found out. I think I texted you and you're like, is that a joke? I'm pretty sure it was your reply. But everybody here hated him. I'm like, hey, I stood up for Brad Marchand because he's a great hockey player. And now all of a sudden he's God's gift to the Florida Panthers. Yeah, but also it's just the way it goes, I guess, right? But I don't know if he was... I think he means he's that style of player.
Greasy,
like a Bennett,
dirty, all those pest, a pest.
Well, you
all
look
those
at,
things. To be honest, he's been better than I thought he would be. At 37, I didn't think he would have this much energy nor gas in the tank and score big goals. He looks like he's 30.
But also, too, remember, he's playing on the third line and he sat for 2 months because he was injured. He's got a lot of juice. I think he needed a change out of Boston. I don't think he wanted to leave Boston. I doubt it. Nobody really ever does. But he probably just needed a break and he got some legs back because he rested for a little bit.
Well, we have a lot to get to here. I could talk about that forever because there are people that think that Marchand's going to go back to Boston. And
he's not going to stay here.
You don't think so?
No. They don't have the space.
Well, listen, so John has changed his username to John from Edmonton. He says...
Did he really? I didn't see that.
He's changed it to John K., but I know who he is. The Oilers. People ask, so now's your chance to answer. How you feel about them?
Good. Listen, the only game out of the last 8 that they technically lost, they scored on themselves. How could you be upset about that? Like, everybody was like texting me and asking me, like, how are you doing? And I'm like, you guys, And even like obviously Oilers fans, they're way more critical than you guys even imagine. But they're not critical to other teams. They're critical to themselves. It's like, it was Skinner's fault and Skinner should have been in the net and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and it was just, everything had to line up for what happened to have happened. Like, it was just the flukiest, probably one of the flukiest things I've ever seen in the National Hockey League. It was just so bizarre that it happened. But I wasn't stressed out about it because Edmonton's been a freight train. After the first 2 games against LA, it's been game on. And you could see it shift in game 3 against LA. Edmonton just all of a sudden found their game. And they're getting goals from all their lines. Every single line is scoring goals and whatever. And so I'm happy with the way they're playing because they're playing the way they can play. The way they played last year in the Stanley Cup final from games really 2 to 6, 0 complaints. They played well, right? It's Edmonton's, and I've said this a million times on here. When Edmonton's good, they're good. But when they're bad, they're bad.
There you go. There's questions coming in about the Oilers, but guess what? We're not an Oilers podcast, so we're moving on to all the others. I have a lot of things to get to here. And for our usual viewers, the Panthers fans, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey, if you're watching live, we will address what you say. If you're not watching live, too fucking bad.
Right. Dallas, Winnipeg.
Oh.
Everybody's all over Connor Hellebuck, and for good reason. I could spend an hour on that. That's my point. There's enough Oilers podcasts out there. The Winnipeg Jets are facing elimination Thursday night, down 3-1, and everybody's all over their goalie because of it. And he's probably 90% of the reason why they are. Connor Hellebuck, who's going to win his 3rd Vezina Trophy this year, is the best goalie in the regular season.
There was no doubt in my mind, there's still no doubt in my mind, that Dallas is going to destroy Winnipeg. As soon as I found out, first of all, Winnipeg got lucky winning the last series. They should have lost to St. Louis. But here they are, fine, whatever. As soon as I found out they were playing Dallas, I knew they were cooked.
Dallas is too good.
Winnipeg is good, but they're not playing. When I watched Winnipeg play in Vegas like a month ago, Winnipeg was unbelievable. I was like, holy crap. If Winnipeg plays like this, because they played both sides of the game. And I was like, man, they're not just fast, they're doing everything right. Winnipeg is so fast. But the train fell off the tracks like it always does when Winnipeg makes the playoffs or 10 games before the playoffs. They'll be in a playoff spot and they'll lose. I said it during this whole year. Everybody's like, well, it looks like Winnipeg's year. Are you on crack? It's never going to be Winnipeg's year. I'm adamant about that. They just don't have what it takes. There's always a chink in the chain. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's pressure. I always like to stick up for Hellebuck because I think he's a fantastic goaltender. To be fair, when you have a team like Dallas that's coming hard at your net like that, there's been a lot of goals Dallas has scored that Hellebuck had no chance. Yes, there are some goals that I think he wish he would have had back, but let's be honest, the bigger problem is up front for Winnipeg, not in goaltending.
And these guys don't back check. But the problem is the goalie's the last line of defense. That's why he's getting $8.5 million per year. You're getting paid to not allow goals, period. Like, he came out and addressed the media after game 4, and he was like, I'm doing the best I can. He literally said that. The only good thing about that is that he's actually talking to the media, because most times he doesn't address the media at all. What's up?
Nothing.
And running from it and not addressing it is not good. Like hiding. Face your demons. But it's not. What's so funny? What are you guys laughing at?
Nothing.
You having a nice little joke?
No. Hellebuck, that poor guy, I've said it before, him playing in Winnipeg is so difficult. It's got to be so hard. But like you said, Winnipeg's not back checking. I watch, when you ask me about what I feel about the Oilers, game, 2, I think it was, Edmonton dominated the third period. Like, it was like watching an NHL team play a bunch of 13-year-olds. Like, if I was a Golden Knights fan, I would be like horrified by that. It was not even close. And that's what Winnipeg's not doing. Dallas is. Dallas is pushing so hard that they're just, man, whoever they play next will be formidable.
For Edmonton.
I mean,
for the hockey fans, Dallas plays a 200-foot game, which means in all areas of the ice. Winnipeg plays a 50-foot game in the offensive zone, largely. And the thing is, they won the President's Trophy as the regular season champs. That's what got everybody horny that this was going to be their year, obviously. But nobody predicted this was going to happen in the playoffs. Well, clearly you did, but not the way that it's happened. It's sad. I was hoping they would do it.
Sometimes I think that Winnipeg sits back on the fact that they have good defensemen and they have good forwards and they have a good goaltender. I don't know what it is. They have great defensemen in Winnipeg. There's just the disconnect is there.
Carolina-Washington's the other series that really nobody cares about, but I have watched it. And the Hurricanes are flying under the radar. One of these years, it might actually be their year, you know.
Telling you, I thought that exact same thing this year. I go, nobody's talking about Carolina.
Not at all.
I said it on here too. Everybody, who's going to do better? Florida or Tampa? Where's the Panthers going to end up? Where's Boston going to end up? You guys, that's how Carolina plays, same as Dallas. It's the same thing, just in the other conference. Go ahead. Expect us to lose. We'll see. I knew Carolina was going to. I'm actually kind of shocked New Jersey put up as big of a fight as they did, but I knew they were going to stomp Washington. I mean, Carolina's that is a good hockey team.
Really good. And
really
well coached
good.
And all the rest. Let's get the live comments going, everybody. We got about 10 minutes left. Sarina has another show to do after this, and I got to get up to Wellington. So we don't have a lot. Let's get your comments in. I do love, as you know, talking to the Panthers fans at the games. I love hearing from you in between games. And with all these announcements that are going on from teams that aren't in the playoffs, there's a lot of talk about that, right? And some Panther fan wrote me and said, non-playoff teams should be barred from making announcements during the playoffs. I'm like, guy, that's 2 months. They can't go 2 months. Maybe during the Stanley Cup final, teams can't make announcements, but Adam Foote's the new coach in Vancouver. Rick Tockett's going to be the coach in Philadelphia. Joel Quenneville got hired in Anaheim. Ken Holland's the new GM in LA. And the Lightning, because I didn't want to ignore them today, have announced that John Cooper's returning, which surprises no one. But of all of those, some interesting moves.
Okay. First of all, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It should be banned from making announcements. Are you serious? You think the Vancouver Canucks give a rat's ass? They hired a head coach. Yeah.
That's funny.
Think they give a Panthers rat's ass? You guys, come on. Like, now we're grasping at straws. It was like something the other day, and I love him. I love Jersey Jim. I love him. But he made a comment on one of your things about the Oilers have come back in 5 straight. It shouldn't be considered a comeback if it's in the first period. I'm like, what are you people smoking?
I didn't even address it.
Like, I was like, Jim, love you, but come on. You guys, stop making this shit up. Okay, this is what I love. This is what I love, because I hate the Vancouver Canucks. Last year, everybody's like, Rick Tockett's the greatest coach of all time. Look at all the good things he's doing in Vancouver.
Right.
And I'm like, we'll see. We'll see. Look what happened this year. Don't make the playoffs. Gone. Bye.
Run out of town.
He's going to be a fantastic coach in Philly, because Philly needs guys like that.
And he was a Flyer.
Well, yeah, he is a Flyer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be good. I was a lot shocked when I saw Adam Foote went to Vancouver. I didn't even know that was a thing. The Ken Holland thing, not surprised. Not for 1 second. The Kings have had more consistency in their general managership than a lot of teams have over the last 8 years, to be fair. But not getting through the first round, somebody's got to pay the price. Somebody's got to pay the price. To be totally honest, I was unimpressed with, what's his name, their head coach, the Kings.
Jim Hillard.
Yeah. I mean, good God. The things that came out of his mouth. It was just, but I'm surprised he stayed. I don't know.
Panthers fans have responded. We got some questions and comments, but keep them going. We're down to like 7 minutes left. We might go a little overtime if you've given us some stuff good. But we're rattling through this fast. We don't sit here and talk for 1 or 2 hours of a boring shit that nobody cares about. We go fast.
Oh my God.
And that's why people love this.
Like 1 hour podcast.
Don't do
Jesus.
it. Sorry to those that do 1 hour podcasts here, but that's not us.
God.
The last guy, Mike, he's my dude. I don't know him, but I feel like I will. What do you say? Ben, can you read the last comment?
Yeah, I'm going to botch these names, though. But
It's okay. We will understand it.
All right, so Rodriguez knocked out by a blindside gutless hit. Boquist taking his spot next to Barkey and Rhino. How do you think he'll do? Asking both Rod and
See, you're
Sarina.
learning.
Yeah, I like
We're
it.
cool with this.
All right, cool. All right.
We've talked about it before, Mike. I don't know if you've watched this show. I'm a Boquist backer. I love him a lot, and you know that. I love a guy that can play a lot of different positions. We've seen him play in the wing. We've seen him play D, probably go in goal if you asked him to. Now, Rodriguez is a smooth player. I love the way he plays. I really do. But Boquist shoots a different way. They're going to use him a little differently. But this is not a drop-off at all. Might be a slight step up for, like, energy.
I think that pound for pound, Boquist is a more talented hockey player.
Yeah. Thank you.
For sure. But, I mean, that is not taking anything away from Rodriguez because he's been so good in
He's just
Florida.
little.
Boquist is just, he's a different type of player. And I agree with Rod. I think that that's going to be, I don't know, a step up. And again, not to take anything away from Rodriguez, it's just a difference. But that goes to show you the depth of the Panthers. And I always like, you guys know, obviously I favor Edmonton. Edmonton's the same way. It's like, oh, Emberson's out, Stetcher's in on defense. Up front, this guy's out, this guy's in. Both these teams have players that they can do that. I think they're the only two teams left in the playoffs that have the luxury of going, okay, one guy got hurt, we'll just put in somebody else. It's fine because they're getting movement from all their lines.
Ben, I want you to cut this clip specifically. So how you ever want to do it.
Oh, boy.
That one just now?
No, upcoming.
Okay, gotcha.
This is gonna
No. Just seriously, are the Panthers a better team this year than last year's team?
Oh,
Hell of a question, isn't it?
that's a great question.
See?
I thought it was going to be something spicy.
This is spicy.
No. God, I don't know. Because I feel like Barkov really brings the heat in the playoffs, and I feel like he was playing just as well last year as he is this year. Apples and oranges. I feel like he's working harder every game, which is what he did last year. I would say, oh man, I don't know. God, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Should I have prepped you for this?
No, but I just feel like, let's be honest, I think a lot of Panthers fans last year after Game 7 were sweating because there was a serious reality that they were about to blow
of course.
And that was the way that they were playing in that series. So if you compare the whole thing, I don't know, but I think that the Panthers probably played better in the first round than I think some people were expecting them to, and they kind of hit their stride.
Yeah.
Those two games against Toronto, like I said, I feel like Florida probably should have won the second game. I think it's about the same.
It's pretty simple. We don't know the answer to this right now, but we will in 6 weeks. I was having lunch with a guy by the name of Bernie Perrant in Saskatoon one day. I know those names might as well be another planet to a lot of people watching right now.
Yeah.
But Bernie said to me, you know who's going to win the Stanley Cup this year? And I said, no. He goes, the team that is the best team. And I'm like, I knew what he meant.
Yeah.
Not the most talented team,
Yeah.
the best team. And that group last year, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Stolars, Stenlund, Lorentz, there was a lot of, they weren't going to the Hall of Fame, right? This year's team, probably more talented. Seth Jones, Marchand. I love the way Ekblad's been playing this year. You don't, but I do. And look what he's done in these playoffs. He's been amazing. Doesn't mean they're going to win the Stanley Cup, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they don't win the Stanley Cup, the answer will be, no, they're not as good. Right?
Yeah, well, but that also is saying that the other teams didn't get better.
How do you mean?
Well, like if Florida could be just as good as they were last year, but let's say Toronto beats them, then the argument is, well, Toronto was a better team this year than they were last year. That's why Toronto won this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
well,
hard-
the
it's
Leafs
hard to
did
say.
their things for sure in the offseason to to beat this group. But by the way, can I leave you with this? Panthers fans, how do you like playing the Leafs in the playoffs? Because you're realizing you're taking on not just a hockey team. You're taking on an entire maniacal, nuts media base, fan base. It's insane.
Yeah, but they
what's
don't.
going on? No, there's no other team that would be this kooky.
No. I know. I haven't heard that word in a long time.
Kooky?
But then it describes the situation. But like, people that go to Panthers games do not search TSN to find out what's going on up in Toronto. They don't care about any other team or any other series that's going on. They're not going to go out of their way to look for it because it's not on ESPN or whatever. In Canada, we can't help it. It's just everywhere. Like you can't avoid it. And so we follow a lot of Canadian media and stuff like that. So we see it a lot more. I don't think people here really realize how.
But I think they're seeing it now that these Leafs fans are. Like, I'm really starting to dislike them a lot.
But
I don't really have a dog in the hunt, largely. Just the way they're baiting. The Sefue thing aside, because I still think he was baited. No, he shouldn't have said what he said, but especially what he said. But I'm just saying, the way the fans are, they're picking fights, they're trolling. Far less Leaf fans here at the games than there were 2 years ago, by the way, and I don't know why that is. Everybody's saying it's because the dollar's so crappy.
That is a big part of it, and we're not going to get into a political discussion about this, but there's just a lot of people that are choosing not to spend their money in the US, and it's very, very expensive with the exchange. So that is a big part of it. We saw it in Seattle when the Blue Jays go. Usually the stadium is full, but Seattle decided to raise their ticket prices knowing Canadians were going to pay, and Canada went, can't afford it, not going.
I'm not a ticket expert, never worked in the ticket department. I just find how these ticket prices have not gone crazy this series because the demand isn't there. Clearly, they're looking at the IP addresses, and from Ontario, they're not getting the clicks.
Yeah. Well, it's like everybody.
So we all win.
Everybody here is saying, they're like, if you want to buy tickets, wait until 2 hours before the game because you'll get them for next to nothing. Because people buy all these season tickets and then they can't dish them off, especially against Toronto. Last year was different. People were able to sell their tickets for a lot more, but the dollar is just way too bad.
Okay. Well, this has been fun.
Okay.
Nice to have you back on the air.
Thank you.
I don't think you've offended too many people today, besides me. And Ben, any last words?
Nah. Good to have Sarina back. It was great.
Danny.
Yeah.
Anybody say anything about your Cats and Bolts shirt at the game the other night?
The one guy, there was one guy that helped you into your seat. He was like, "Oh,
the usher."
The usher, yeah, the usher. Thank you. I couldn't remember the word, but yeah, he was like, "Oh, you're a part of that show." I was like, "Yeah, I helped produce it."
You're just telling me now?
Yeah, I didn't know.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was
number one show amongst the ushers at Merritt Bank Arena.
I know, they love us.
Yeah, all right. A writes in. Do you want to read the last one?
What can we do to eliminate the night chant? Should we all pretend it means Panthers win tonight?
Yeah, we should start something and get rid of that.
Even Kachuk said the other day, he was like, I kind of wish they would not do that.
Only 100 people do. Like, it's not the whole rink.
It's audible, though.
Yeah, guys, you need to stop
So
that.
during the the national anthem, when they say, and the Rockets, red, glare, everybody glare, or red, that's for the Panthers red.
Yeah.
And then what's the next lyrics?
Gave proof
all through the night.
Yeah.
Everybody chants night. It's for Spencer Knight, who used to play here, the goalie, but he hasn't played here since the trade deadline. Or a week before the trade deadline. And they're like, why are you still saying this? He doesn't play here anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't shy of shaming people. I say, are you that stupid? You don't understand?
I think it's just a thing that
it's a thing now?
Yeah, I don't know.
You think they know? And they do it anyways? I feel like it's people don't even know what they're doing. Because if you knew, you wouldn't say it.
I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah. There's probably some of that. Yeah, there's probably some of they have no clue. They're just there to yell.
They used to chant it for a player on the team, which was actually odd because half the time he was in the minors. He wasn't even in the building. Yeah. And they were still chanting night.
Yeah, he was in rehab, minors. They didn't care. They were supporting him.
Can't fix stupid.
Yeah, well.
Okay. I think that's it.
You said it, not me.
He's got his pen ready, guys.
Kelly says, they don't know that she would know. Kelly's a season ticket holder. They don't know night's gone. Well, you can't fix stupid. All right. That'll be the title of the show. Can't fix stupid, okay? Can you change it?
Yeah, I can change
Good
it.
night.
Oh, 5 players! Yeah!